Heartthrob never. Heartthrob forever.
It's been a minute, but I have to take my time and find topics that are meaningful enough to discuss and talk about. But here's the issue, keeping it 100 and straight to the point. I've been noticing on a political level, no matter where you go, primarily or majorly. Now, this isn't in every situation, but here in the United States, no matter where we go, in any state, any county and city, I'm noticing that the areas that are predominantly American Black in demographic and population, those areas are always underserved by the local and federal government. And then I also noticed that these areas as well, a lot of the times will be the county seats of the county. Now, just to give you all a little rundown about this, there's a hometown of my families that they are from, which I guess would be our ancestral land here in America, or our ancestral geographical place where we come from. And most of the family moved from this southern city decades ago, coming up north for job opportunities and steel mill and so on and so forth. So that's how our family got up north. Y'all all know the story. Most of our families, if you're American Black, that's what is the migration thing of most of our families. Not immigration, migration. For better job opportunities and to get somewhere where the racism and systemic racist policies, couldn't keep adversely affecting us to where we were struggling the way that we were. So our grandmothers and grandfathers left from those southern places and went up north. But I recently looked into this place that my family is from, and I noticed that it's majority American Black, highly majority American Black, and a smaller percentage is, of the, traditional people who ran the government and all this and that, that demographic percentage was white, but very small. Now, what I've noticed is these areas are continuing to face the situation of it being the county seat of the county, but the areas that are majority Black are underserved as far as revitalization, as far as land ownership, home ownership, business ownership, access to business resources. I noticed that the majority of people who own and control the government, who control the businesses, access to lands through USDA, is the smaller percentage ethnic group in the city. While they don't reside in the city, well, they stay in the city, but they don't live in the immediate areas that the majority of the American Blacks reside. But this smaller percentage ethnic group controls the government. They control land allocation and access to resources for land through USDA. They own all of the businesses, but the American Black community is underserved. And now I noticed this thing even up north, that there's this system where wherever the American Blacks are, for some reason they're centered landlocked-wise in the county seat of an area, but the funds that are allocated for the county seat are always used to revitalize and support and uplift those areas outside or surrounding the county seat while the areas that the American Black people live in continue to be dilapidated, deprived, and underserved without adequate sustainability for a community of people. So I take it upon myself to contact a few offices in Washington, D.C., one being the Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division, as well as the main office for the DOJ. I wanted to speak to someone directly. Now, here's the problem. Every time that we try to contact someone, and this was just based off of an inquiry, not to make a report or file a complaint. I needed to see who we would be able to talk to in regards to this issue that I recognized and observed. One person, an operator, answered the phone. I explained to her the nature of my inquiry. She transferred me. The person that answered the phone told me, I don't know what you're talking about. You have the wrong number, and hung up the phone. Interesting. And then all of the other places I was transferred to, it was being transferred to a voicemail. So other than being able to contact the operator dispatchers, there was no way to just pose a quick inquiry to anyone, whether they were the actual people who handle it or their personal assistants or secretaries. But my point is this. In regards to civil rights and the nature of the thing that I'm talking about right now, if we can't access people, at least to some degree, with some immediacy, how are we to get anything done for our people and for the communities that we reside in? You see, I'm taking that this must be a normalcy within the governmental bodies of the United States when it comes to situations like this, is to basically give the runaround to, or even flat out deny access to these government officials to explain or make inquiries about the nature of the scenarios that we are observing. If we can't get to the right places to make these complaints, how are we going to make any leeway or changes in the conditions of our neighborhoods and the needs of our people? So to give you a further example of this, so I just broke down to you me calling the Department of Justice and a few divisions in the Department of Justice to make an inquiry about this. But all of this was predicated upon me doing some research on my ancestral hometown, seeing that it was predominantly Black, doing my own personal quick community needs assessment of the place and saying, okay, well, hey, it seems like they need this here and they need that. And the field of work that I'm in, I know how to get those things done. So, but when I call this hometown of my grandfather and grandmother, great-grandfather, great-grandmother, and I make an inquiry about things that should be public information regarding community needs assessments and economic forecasts for the area, I was met with a passive-aggressive, flat-out resistance to my inquiry. And it was, flipped around to, well, what is it that you're trying to do? And I don't understand quite what it is that you're asking. And well, are you trying to, bring businesses here or this? Like, what are you trying to do? And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're not the one that I would talk to about that. And further, that's none of your business. What I'm inquiring about are those things that should be publicly posted for transparency on one of your local government websites in regards to the community needs and in regards to, just basic demographic research and methodology. But this is what I was met with. And so, I pondered it for a while and said, okay, well, I might need to, call and make some inquiries about. So I'm not really going into everything that transpired, but American Black people, we have to get busy. You see, because now I'm seeing that it's been a concerted effort systematically to impose these types of these systemic hand ties, hog ties upon us. And that's why we aren't able to get anything done. That's why we can't understand why our needs aren't being met as an ethnic group of people while everybody else's needs are being met. Like, this is critical. So I'm not going to stay on this too long. I wanted to post this, and then hopefully y'all put some, leave some comments, send some emails. If you got the email address, it's in the, the description or whatever. Comment, whatever you want to do, because it's prompting me to form some type of strategic organization to address these issues. And I'll be putting in the effort to do this nationwide, wherever American Black people are concentrated and are being underserved. Enough is enough. We're not going to be up here ranting and raving and screaming and doing the traditional thing that they expect us to do. Now we have to get strategic about this. So, real discouraging. I'm out. Heart throb never. Heart throb forever.